Good morning. Hello. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to ScreenJunkies Universe. The whole gang is here. We're so delighted to be with you today. I'm Roth Cornett. That's Dan Merle.
Hi.
Spencer Gilbert.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Starr. Yeah, this is what the lunchroom looks like if we had one, which we don't. Hey, the Wasp wants to stand by her Ant-Man. Mower MoviePass.
I like it.
A tale of two, nay, 3 Nolans. Did you know about this?
What?
I didn't. This is so good, and it's going to happen at the end of the show,
Oh, yeah,
so
I
you
knew
have
this.
to watch.
Sorry.
Oh, God damn it!
Yeah, we talked about this.
Don't
on
spoil.
Commentaries.
Don't spoil.
Yeah.
Don't spoil. I didn't know about this.
No.
So Evangeline Lilly doesn't want a Wasp spinoff. I really think this might be a first. This is via Screen Rant. She was at the Fan Expo in Boston and asked if she would like to do a spinoff, a solo film with just the Wasp, and she was like, nah. I don't want to do that. And that's like never, an actor never says that. They're like, yes, and here's my proposal. Here's a Bible and a pitch, you know, and they've submitted it already to Kevin Feige. But no, she said that she thinks that the Wasp needs Ant-Man, and they've been a team, and she pointed out that there's a lack of partnerships like that in comic books, and she thinks that losing Ant-Man would be a detriment to the film, and citing their banter. And she said she would make an exception. She would be happy to appear in a film without Ant-Man if it was an all-lady team-up of the MCU heroines.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, so apparently that was not a detriment to that idea at all. It was my use of the word heroine, which was weird. So I was noting that I had said something weird. It wasn't that is a weird idea, because Brie Larson herself apparently pitched it to Kevin Feige, and he was like, yeah, that's a really good idea. I'm definitely interested. And I don't think they've circled back to that yet. That's my take on the
I mean, it's definitely a Kevin Feige response where it's like, an excellent idea that I've cataloged in one of my hats.
I just was one of those things where they're like, he was really interested in that idea, but they haven't like developed it further. That said, the man probably has a ton on his plate at the moment, figuring out the next phase.
I would watch a movie, Netflix series, or ABC show about all the Phase 1 girlfriends just
hanging out.
Just
Getting their groove back.
Or waiting, or do they exhale at the end of the movie?
Is it the first Avengers Club?
Yes.
And they sing You Don't Own Me?
Pepper Potts, Jane Foster, Betty Ross.
Yep.
And they're like a Charlie's Angels, and you see that they were like secretly helping the superheroes along the way, behind the scene, or just hanging out at home, like
drinking wine.
Yeah, saying, should we dump them? I don't know. Should we?
Agent Carter.
Yeah,
travels back.
that is just the height of feminism. What you just proposed.
Talking about their boyfriends. That passed the Bechdel test, right?
You know what? Superhero movie that we should do with women. They should just be like hanging out, drinking wine, talking about their boyfriends.
I'm only pitching what Phase 1 already did to them, Roth.
That's right.
I know, you're being satirical, which is your magic and your gift.
Also,
anyway,
don't diss the First Wives Club.
Yes,
can I tell you what I like about Evangeline Lilly is she thought out the realities of being a superhero that shrinks tiny, and I think she it makes sense what she's saying, because she's the Wasp and she shrinks tiny, and Ant-Man shrinks tiny, so they can talk to each other. And it's true, if it was the Wasp and the Hulk,
the whole movie
would shrink tiny, and she wouldn't have anybody to talk to.
Yeah.
It would just because no one can hear her because she's tiny, and a normal sized person can't hear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's right. There's no banter. There's
Those
no
suits
banter.
have the radios, because
I guess they do have the radios, but that's true. Yeah, you just poked
Is
a hole
she
in
how
my
Cyborg fixes his armor? Like she gets in those little cracks and rewires stuff?
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
What I like
you
about
totally poked a hole in. That was my whole reasoning, and now it's gone.
I think that this is what I like about Evangeline. I like a lot about Evangeline Lilly. I don't know if you guys know this, but I kind of love her. And we're secretly best friends. She doesn't know it. It's not creepy.
Those are two contradictory statements. But continue.
I have her hair.
I feel like I think that she's just thinking, A, being loyal in that moment, and B, just genuinely thinking about the total of what would be best for the character. And she probably did think it through, and she's like, I don't know if that would be a particularly great or interesting film, but it would be fun to continue to do stuff with Paul, or I love the idea of this lady team up. I think that would be fun too. They have enough lady heroes now to make that work.
Yeah, I wish the snap had only killed the men. And it was just
why the last
Thanos
man
had a highly gendered snap. He was like, never men again. And then it was just the ladies inherit the earth. And then you can do a backdoor pilot to Why the Last Man.
That's what I was saying. Is it Why the Last Man, but Thanos is why?
Yeah.
That's a weird one.
I think it would have been hilarious if Captain America was the only man left, because he's just very awkward. He's generally been very awkward, and now he's just awkward around the population of the Earth.
Form an orderly line.
Ma'am, ma'am. It's just him walking through, just ma'am, just saying ma'am to every ma'am. It's I would watch that.
Are you related to my girlfriend from the 40s? No, not interested.
Only genetically.
I do like what she said about partnerships and the lack of partnerships. Action movies are terrible at relationships beyond and we're together by the end of the first movie, and then in the sequel you're probably gone.
Dead.
Dead, or even just completely unexplained away. And comics are really bad at it. Comics don't know what to do once you're married. They literally... Marvel decided that they didn't know what to do with a married Peter Parker, and so they jumped through so many hoops to get rid of his relationship with Mary Jane without it being a divorce or being a death. He made a weird deal with the devil to save his aunt's life, but it would make all these weird changes because they just don't know what to do. And I think I like the idea of these two characters being able to explore what that partnership looks like throughout their series of movies. I think that's cool, whether it goes romantic or whether it does not, or yeah.
They're like the Jim and Pam of superheroes in that way.
Yeah.
Where that was the only relationship that I feel like any sitcom ever just could, unless it was a sitcom about a married couple in which inevitably they were just sniping at each other, that the writers were like, no, let's just continue to make them interesting people, because people don't stop being interesting once they're in a committed relationship.
Yeah, it's weird. You don't die or vanish once you get married or get into a committed relationship with a significant other. It's weird, life continues and things keep happening. So I would like to see that happen on a shrinking level.
Well, the other thing is she could also just be part of the Avengers at large. It doesn't need to be
she's an OG.
Yeah, she can just be part of the Avengers in their next Avenger.
Her mother was in the comics, but I concede your point.
But what if the radios don't work, Spencer?
Yeah.
They talk to each other.
Dan's just been sitting there
trying to make this
on
work.
the communication issue for the entire the conversation.
What's that, Wasp? Someone fell down the well.
And then
Yeah.
I don't know. That was the Hulk taking his ear.
Yeah.
And she's in there. It was really sad, actually. Yeah. She was squished.
But I hate when they do that too. But when they pair someone together finally, and then they split them up immediately. It's that's what I like about the new Star Trek movies, is they kept doing that. They kept like bringing the crew together, and then they would just immediately split them up. It's no, you're fun together. That's why it worked in the first place. So I also think that you just paired up Ant-Man and the Wasp, and I would think she's probably, from a character standpoint, that I think that's also correct. Yeah. It's you just got the dynamic of now we're a team, right? Spoiler alert for Ant-Man and the Wasp. They're gonna already have to figure out how to get them all back together, so they split them apart, and it's very frustrating too. I think is if you get someone together and immediately split them apart again, it's well, then what was the whole point of watching you figure out how to be a team?
I just hope there's room for her somewhere in the MCU at this point, because to be honest, I'm doubtful if we'll see too many more solo movies about Ant-Man and the Wasp because of the performance of the last film financially. So that's kind of a bummer, because I think they're really fun together too. So I hope we just see them Avengering about.
Oh, they'll Civil Warring, they'll Avenger.
They'll Civil War it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of these at this point are, this is one for us. Kevin Feige's you know what I like? My Ant-Man movies. One of them can stand to do only a few $1 billion, Well, I think
that's kind of a Disney call, though, and they might be we disagree.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it's done not well.
Making a new Pirates.
Well, it'll climbing up there.
It's climbing up there. It's as I overlooked. I was talking.
China.
As I shamefully overlooked yesterday on charting. It is not yet opened in China.
Wow.
It'll
make some money, but it's not $1 billion.
It's not Black Panther money, and it's not Avengers money.
Of course not. But the next time they need to goose views on one of these, they'll just be don't miss Ant-Man and the Wasp 3. It is the direct line into Avengers 4. Avengers 4 will literally pick up in the last scene of Avengers, so you have to see it, and don't let anybody spoil it for you, and people will go. It's fine.
All right.
They'll give it a hologram cover.
Yeah.
I think that the conclusion that we've come to is that if the radio breaks, all hope is lost, that the next Ant-Man will lead into Avengers 6.
And that movies should have hologram foil covers somehow.
And that we've done it.
Limited
And we
edition.
want more. I
Issue
want more
0.
Evangeline Lilly, however she comes. So Avenger it up, be in a team up, be with the Ant-Man, do whatever you want, lady, but we want more Evangeline Lilly in our lives. Oh, you guys, I'm not going to do this to you every day, I promise, but I promise it'll only happen when it's crazy. But it was crazy, so we have to talk about MoviePass again.
It's a PSA. This is a PSA.
At this point, we're doing, we really are. We're doing you a service.
Hey, we just dissed you.
They are
this is crazy.
uncanceling users who have canceled their service.
It's the opposite of wow.
It's like that breakup where they're like, I don't accept.
I don't agree.
I don't agree with those terms. This is being Newsweek and Business Insider. So essentially,
He's driven around the bend.
people tried to cancel their MoviePass only to find out didn't work, didn't take. They're still signed up. So apparently, what it is that they got emails saying if you had previously requested cancellation prior to opting in, your opt-in to the new plan will take priority and your account will not be canceled. This is sent by the MoviePass team to one of their users, and people have been complaining about this on Twitter. Dan and I got some tweets about it, but apparently this is what happened.
Franz Kafka is the new CEO, and he and George Orwell had this plan for this
All
bureaucracy
along.
you can never
We'd
escape.
like to
You're
announce
also now
our-
a cockroach.
Our COO, a Nigerian prince.
So basically, say that I cancel as of September 1st. I no longer want this plan, but here we are. We're in August, so I'm going to go see a couple more movies.
You got a few weeks left.
A few weeks to go. You're going to see a couple more movies. So you open up your app and you search around for a couple of hours to find a theater that will take it at a time that you can go see a
That's
film.
not surge
That's
pricing.
not surge pricing for a movie you want to see.
It's already sad because that means it is Tuesday at 11:30 and you're just driving in the desert.
Yeah.
And finally, you find a theater that you can use, and you open up your app, and it basically says, here are new terms, blah, blah, blah. Do you accept? And like all of us, you just are like, yeah, I just want to see the movie. I accept. Well, once you hit I accept, you're actually renewing under the new plan your subscription. So basically, people have done that and they have accidentally renewed their subscription after canceling it, only to find out that they're still getting charged. And then they've gone back to try and cancel it again unsuccessfully and keep getting error notices.
And we've always been at war with Eurasia.
Yeah. So just if you think you've canceled your MoviePass, you may find out.
Oh, Chase Mitchell. I love it.
Good
Wait,
tweet.
what did it say? Bring it back
Said,
up.
what kind? Said I
kind of-
canceled MoviePass yesterday. Then I got this email, and then I tried, and it wouldn't let me. What kind of Twilight?
I mean, it's
It's viral marketing for the reboot with Jordan Peele.
Yeah. This is so. My favorite thing is the way they worded it. It's just like, if you had previously requested cancellation prior to opting in, your opt-in to the new plan will take priority. As if, like, instead of being like, I don't want to use your service anymore and I cancel, it had been like, dearest MoviePass, it is with a heavy heart that I write to you to request that the cancellation of our services together. Like,
Washington's troops are moving up the river and I fear our time is limited.
People didn't request cancellation. They didn't like email
canceled.
MoviePass to be like, hello, I would like to please request that it's like, I don't want to use your service anymore and I cancel you. You're right. It's like MoviePass going like, yeah, but you want to try this new thing. So
Yeah.
no, you click the thing. No, you want to try this new thing. I'm sure that they have hidden behind the legalese required to not be subject to a class action lawsuit, which is why this is really more of a PSA, which is like, if you think I did it today, if you
Did you make sure?
I made sure. I did, because I did it, I think, before any of this happened. If you think you canceled MoviePass, double check that.
You got to cancel in all caps.
Yeah.
Apparently, you now have to go through a round of relationship counseling,
Yes.
required 2 weeks.
You got to win the schmodown. You have to challenge a troll
Eventually,
to cross a bridge.
Yeah.
What?
I just love
What's your name?
I just love that their logic is now like the tag rules from Dumb and Dumber, where it's like you can't triple
Can't
stamp
triple
and double
stamp.
stamp.
It's all there in the terms and service.
Oh man.
This is insane.
We'll see what tomorrow brings around MoviePass, but we do promise that we're only going to talk about it when they make it totally necessary to talk about for your sake.
I never thought a news story would top the now year-long Batman saga. But MoviePass has officially topped. This is the craziest story that we have ever.
You mean the will he or won't he?
The will he won't he of Ben Affleck.
No, this is so much better.
The Star Wars Last Jedi. It pales in comparison to what is now transpiring.
Oh, this is our OJ for sure.
Yeah. This is our raison d'être news OJ. This is the slow speed Bronco chase of the movie news world this last year with MoviePass.
This has got to be studied. You have to imagine this is going to be studied in business schools.
I want The Social Network, but about MoviePass.
MoviePass, right?
Oh my God, Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah.
Come on. I don't know if Aaron Sorkin's the right one for this one. What do you think?
Yeah.
Is there a better writer for this one?
I'll get back to you on that.
You know what's better than losing $1 million? Losing $1 billion. It writes itself.
I want Wiseau to do it and to just play Mitch Lowe.
Yeah.
Just be like, I just wanted you to see movies.
I love movies so much.
I just wanted you to see them. I give you a card, pay for myself, whatever.
Why'd
I
you
don't care.
cancel? It's a new plan.
I'm not wrong. What are you talking about? I have line of
Lots of
credit.
money. We have very strong aspirations.
Anyway, how's your sex life?
These are the worst accents. The Dark Knight. Speaking of Batman.
I got the results back. We're definitely bankrupt.
Never mentioned again.
Oh my God. When are they going to actually just declare bankruptcy?
Never.
They're not,
They'll
never surrender.
they'll
Never give up, never surrender.
They're never going to tap out. They're going to be lying and like broken into little bits on the floor and still not tap out.
Yeah, Black Knight style.
Yeah.
Is AMC the drug
So
dealer?
what happens when you don't have an older brother
Just don't.
growing up? You learn to tap out. Give up. You got to give up in life.
Otherwise, it's
Tapping out worked for you? Good.
Otherwise, it's just going to sit on your back and
Did it not work for you?
Oh, no. No way.
He just never relented.
Yeah. Tapping out, uncle. No safe word.
What was the preferred form of abuse? Was it a fart in the face?
That's in the mix.
Was it this one, Chinese water torture? This is what he used to do. He would hold me down and then just poke my forehead over and over.
That's tough.
Or Dead Man's Arm, where he would beat my arm until it was numb.
Yeah.
Or he would just let spit
Yeah, terrifying.
touch my face and then pull it back.
Yeah, all the tricks. I think every older brother goes to the same school of torture.
Oh, my brother.
I had a night guard, and he would wake me up by pulling it out.
That's just funny.
My brother tied me to the ski rack of his car once and left me there for a few minutes. It was
Whoa.
awesome. Yeah, he was great.
Now that one's intense.
Yeah, he was trying to make out with a girl, and I wouldn't stop knocking on his door because I thought it was funny. So it was appropriate.
That's a fair punishment.
Never been happier to be an only child.
I love my brother. He's my best.
Yeah,
he's my
it's
best
all
friend.
8 to 13 is tough, then it's fine.
Yeah, then you're best friends because you've gone through war together. Mostly war that they waged on you, but still. Yeah. Speaking of brothers, this is such a good segue. The Dark Knight almost had classic rock, the Nolan brothers saga. Okay, we're going to do the first bit, but then it gets really good. Okay, so this is via Slashdome. In a Reddit AMA, Jonathan Nolan was talking about trying to convince his brother Christopher to follow through on some musical choices in their work together. He said, I worked in the movies for years with my brother, and he was never very keen on using popular music, which I totally get. The music he was creating for the films with Hans was so beautiful and purpose built for each moment that it didn't need any help. But I would always have suggestions and thoughts for what music we could be using. I write listening to music, and I would have these extensive lists of things that I thought would work. One example, I tried for 10 years. This 10-year span doesn't make sense to me but we'll get into that. One example is I tried for 10 years to convince Chris to do a trailer for one of our Batman films using Paint It Black. It's an iconic song, and it's been used before, and I understood why he wasn't interested. Right. So we can talk about that, but then...
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. I do want to comment, first of all, that Jonathan has really cleared up his role in the brother situation by saying that while his brother Chris sits and works his ass off, he just sits and makes iTunes playlists.
Well, it's definitely like an adaptation situation where he's like the Nick Cage that's writing the movie about like man versus horse, whereas Christopher's like writing the movie about the beginning of the universe.
Yeah.
I want to see
I don't
that
think that's fair
alternate
to
reality
Jonathan.
where in 2007 we get the trailer for The Dark Knight and Heath Ledger goes on, here we go. Bang, 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 bang.
And then they slow it down.
Oh, if you did,
Oh, God, they do that.
they would totally do the haunting lullaby version
with like a piano.
Plus Plus, everybody knows that I think it was
And
the
it's on the
trailer for
beach.
Stir of Echoes was the trailer that used Paint It Black
Yes.
the best. You can't top that. You can't top that.
And Stir of Echo, thank
Underrated
you,
movie.
Dan. It's such a good movie.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good. Let's just stop the show.
So even in the trailer world, it was a good
Great.
choice not to use Paint It Black because
Yeah.
it would have been redundant.
So are they talking about like one band would have scored the whole thing like Queen did for Flash Gordon?
No,
That would
I
be
think
great.
you
He was just talking about the trailer.
I think you just wanted to use it in
What
the
would
trailer.
the worst song be for the Batman Begins trailer?
Oh,
Or
Bad
Dance?
That dance?
No, that would be the best. Bill.
Shut up, Billy.
I don't know. What do you think the worst song would be?
Escape, the Pina Colada song.
That would be bad.
No, that would be amazing.
Yeah, I'm
Come
trying to think of something
on.
that would be like really on the nose. Or, ooh, ah, ah, ah. That was that song.
Oh,
That would fit
though. That would kind of fit. I guarantee there's so many YouTube videos right now that just have Nolan bat fights just cut to that Disturbed song.
That's the only part of that song.
Down with the
Is that Down with the Sickness?
Get up.
I know the song Down with the Sickness, but I didn't realize that part of that song was
Sabotage
from
would be
Down
the
with the
worst.
Sickness.
Just because why
Sabotage
does
works for
everyone use
everything.
Sabotage?
'Cause it works for
Exactly. Oh
everything.
my god!
I want it that way.
Stop using sabotage
That
and
would have
stuff.
been bad.
Yeah.
Except strangely Star Trek, which they did use it in.
I know. That's
So
my
many
point.
times.
They
Yeah.
keep using it in everything in space. Stop.
Yeah. I get why that scene is awesome. I just don't agree that it is necessarily appropriate.
I understand.
So
I'm in
this
love with a
is-
stripper.
There's a Dark Knight Rises montage set to Down with the Sickness.
There is a
Yes.
Dark Knight.
Of course there is. Of course there's a
There's
Dark
a
Knight
Dark Knight
montage.
Rises
Dark
montage
Knight
set
Rises
to Down with the
Yes.
Sickness. Batman Begins, I get. Dark Knight, even maybe I get.
Gotta get up and then get down with the sickness.
No, I'm in love with a stripper.
So, all right.
By
so
T-Pain.
She rock and she roll in that
body. It's just Batman.
While he's working out to get out of the hole.
I want him to do. I want to just all by myself with Batman.
That's good.
Just
Yeah.
wandering through the halls
don't
of
wanna
Wayne
be-
Manor.
Yeah, just sitting at Thomas and Martha's grave.
Oh,
I fired you.
Batman,
What do we call Master White?
don't wanna be.
So we could get back up
old
again.
Batman. And it's just like,
Rachel! Where's the sugar?
all right. So we're in the car. I'm in the car, and Billy and I are talking, and I'm like, I think it speaks to kind of like the cultural differences between the two brothers because Jonathan, who I think you're not fair to, I think is a talented guy, does a lot of great work on
I'm
television.
For sure.
He
Westworld
is,
season 1's great.
Sure, he did
And-
Person of Interest,
And he wrote a lot of Chris Nolan's best
Yeah.
movies.
So Jonathan is very American.
Great iTunes list,
And then Chris is like super poshy British. And I feel like this just speaks to their different cultural aesthetics in that way. And Billy was like, yeah, it's the reality show we want, but we'll never get. And I'm like, wait a minute. The reality show that we always pitch is the other Big Brother, which is the reality show in which it's like Big Brother and they all live in the house, but it's the other brother of all of the famous people, the one that you didn't know, the third Skarsgård and whatever. So it's like, is there a third
15th
Nolan?
Baldwin.
Yes.
There is.
There's a third Nolan,
third Nolan.
and he
Welcome
is
to the club, Brock.
He is
Yeah.
a criminal, and these are things that I did not know. And this reality show just got amazing. Like, what the hell? What the shit just happened,
I
guys?
love this.
I had
Yeah.
no idea.
She didn't know about
Matthew
my-
Francis Nolan.
My three Nolans.
Oh my God, Matthew Francis Nolan. These parents have to be like, I don't know what happened to these genetics. This guy's arrested. He's a criminal in 2005 for the kidnapping and murder of Florida businessman Robert C. Cohen in Costa Rica. In 2005, he was being investigated for an unrelated $700,000 bank fraud scheme in which he was using his brother's fame, Christopher's fame, as a director to basically defraud people. I don't know exactly how, but it's definitely a movie that somebody should make, right? And
The
like,
Brothers Nolan.
I mean, look, it's kind of sad.
it's really, come on, it's really sad, but I just had no idea. And he ended up going back to jail in 2009. Largely, I think for the
Murder.
not the murder. I don't think it was for the murder because I think they didn't have. Well, according to Billy this morning in the car, they didn't have enough evidence for that. That is really sad. That is clearly a very, very sad, horrible thing. It's also just one of those things that I think it's crazy that I had no idea about, given how
to escape prison.
he
also
tried to escape
yeah.
prison.
Well, to me, the interesting thing is how this can kind of be seen woven throughout Chris's films of criminals, criminality,
That's what
heist,
we were saying.
escape, and like all this stuff of like the noble
back and
feat.
watch-
Just because you
knowing
just
this-
tried to shame me, let me be clear. I am not making light, obviously, of the loss of a human life in any way and the murder. I just
making
think
a
it's,
reality show.
No, I just think it's bonkers that like this is a really big deal and so very different than the two brothers, the other brothers.
It blew my mind when I
And you can see it in his work, to your
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, I was just
He's starting
saying.
in insomnia, in terms of like criminality and all of these things, but no one talks about it.
Go back to now. Watch The Prestige with the
Yeah.
two Christians
Yeah,
visiting
I
each
mean,
other in prison.
Yeah, it goes a level
it's
deeper
crazy.
when you find out Matthew had a twin brother named Declan, and like they just kept it a secret from like everyone. Declan's the one that's in jail right now while Matthew
job.
schemes. It's crazy. It's Nolans are messed up. They're all in on
all
it.
three Nolans. They actually shuffle places.
Yeah.
Every couple of years.
That's why Dark Knight Rises was not nearly as good as Dark
I'm
Knight.
giving you my
Matthew got to
real.
direct
This is my real shocked reaction. Not just that this is a reality, but that he has such a tight control on the press that you can totally find this in his work, and no one talks about it, and no one really writes about it,
It's
and
an
no one
interesting
asks
angle,
him
right?
about it.
Yeah.
Because he has such a tight control, clearly, on what people will or will not ask him about. That they don't ask him about this in terms of how it's reflected in his work.
Yeah. I mean, we thought about putting it in the honest trailer. We were like,
No, it's sad. I mean, once you look, if it was just the fraud, I think it would be fine.
Yeah.
But the idea that he also is accused of a murder is that's you can't make a joke out of that. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you
It's,
can.
no, it's a really bizarre thing that you would think more people would know.
Right.
But it is. It's just a very weird. When Spencer told me about it, I was like, "What?" Yeah. It's just it's crazy.
But you could form a pretty solid Expendables crew out of like the third brothers of different famous families.
you could make a pretty
Lucas
great,
Baldwin.
That
Is there one?
That is a real reality show that should happen.
Isn't there a fourth Hemsworth?
Yes.
Yes.
So the other brother's show would not even be Luke Hemsworth.
No,
No.
it would be the fourth one
fourth
that we
Hemsworth.
don't know.
Yeah.
that we
Yeah.
don't know.
It would be the unknown brother. I mean,
The guy that the lead on Riverdale has a twin that doesn't act. I don't think he can go in there. That's got to be weird if your
Archie?
twin brother's super famous. Yeah, that's got a twin.
I think there are 8 Skarsgårds. I'm pretty sure there are
There's
like
so many
8.
There are so
Yeah.
many.
I
always
think
finding new
Stellan has like
Skarsgårds.
8 kids.
You
Yeah.
could make up Skarsgårds, and I'd just be like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And we know,
Fjord
like,
Skarsgård.
3 of them.
Skarsgård.
Yeah. He's
I love his abs.
he stars in
handsome
foreign
guy.
films, but he'll break out here.
Yep.
Yeah, the other brother. I'm in.
all right. Well, good talk. I was surprised to learn this information today. only
I feel like we
because-
let you down for not telling you.
I feel like you did too. And it's just like one of many things that no one's been telling me recently. The following are true. Like,
If you watch the Honest Trailer commentary for every Christopher Nolan movie, we bring this up and then we say nobody tell Roth. So
Yeah, we do
specifically.
explicitly
Yeah.
say, like, to the commenters and the people at home, we're like, this is a really interesting fact, and we really want you to please not tell Ross.
We have a whiteboard in the writer's room
Yeah.
that says things we're not telling Ross.
Yeah.
It's weird that you haven't seen
Number
it.
one, third Nolan brother.
Number one with a bullet, baby.
All right, well, that talk didn't lead to any really overly interesting places because you guys already knew all of the information that you failed to share with me that I just learned today. To my great surprise. Wow, like I legitimately think that one of these days a movie about the Nolan brothers will
I'd
be
watch it.
made,
Yeah.
and I would watch that movie. It's a sad movie though.
This could have a happy ending. Who knows?
Yeah, it's a more of a Brothers Bloom style sort of quirky romp.
Yeah.
Yeah, Darjeeling Unlimited style thing where they and Christopher Nolan loves trains. They're in all his movies.
Or what was the Florida show on Netflix with the two brothers?
Cops?
No.
Bloodlines?
Bloodline.
Or the Newton Boys.
Yeah.
You guys all remember that Skeet Ulrich's vehicle from, I want to say, 1996? I have no idea why the Newton Boy. I probably haven't thought of that movie in 15 years. I don't know why that popped into my head just now.
Who is the unknown Baldwin?
I don't.
Because we have
Such a
Billy,
deep question.
Steven,
Billy,
Alex.
Steven, Alec,
Steven,
and
Kermit.
Alec.
Is there-
Kermit Baldwin.
There's a couple others.
Changed his name
Jasper
to the Frog.
Jasper
Baldwin.
Baldwin. Yeah.
Are there more Sheens or Estevezes that we just don't know about?
I feel like there must be.
There's
There's got to be.
All right. You
What should
guys
we
have to
watch
be
this
bored
week?
out of your mind at this point as we slowly pitch our reality
Tell
TV
us
show.
other brothers we don't know about.
Who are the other brothers that we should
Or
probably
sisters.
know about? It's been a good time with you guys today. You should watch the Honest Trailer. You should watch the Honest Trailer commentary. But once again,
We got a big movie fight this week.
We got a big movie fight this week.
Yeah. Cucumber's coming back this week.
Oh,
I didn't actually. This is another
warm
thing. It's on the whiteboard of things that I have not
Wait,
been
really?
told.
Yeah.
Wait, is it the championship fight?
No. Cucumber's getting a warm up with me and Erika Ishii.
Nice.
Oh, yay! Well, Cucumber will be back
good.
this week on Movie
If he
Fight,
wants
so
to
you should
duck me,
definitely.
that's fine. I'm in the building, and he has a championship fight coming up against me.
I think
but
that could get
whatever.
weird on the couch today with you two.
If he thinks he needs practice, then that's fine. He can do a warm up.
Yeah, no.
I'm ready.
I'm ready to get mowed
ready
over
to
by
fight
Yeah, this is like the show match with Rocky and Hulk Hogan.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I'm not even Thunderlips in this equation. I'm just also there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for charity.
Ishii was 100% Hulk Hogan.
All right.
All right.
Opponent research. I'll be ringside taking notes.
There you go.
On tomorrow's show, we're going to talk about other things that people haven't told me, which I have to imagine is innumerable. But two of those things are
When
going
a
to
man loves
introduce
a woman,
a
they give
new
each other a special
segment
hug.
called "I'm Mad That This Got Canceled 5 Years Ago." That's a
I'm
new
really
segment
excited
that's
about
going to come up sometime on this week's show, maybe Friday. I don't know. I said tomorrow, but probably not. Okay, bye.
See ya.